There are places on Earth where the human body begins to lose its battle with the environment almost immediately. Places where the air is too thin, the heat is overwhelming, the cold can be fatal, or the landscape is so hostile that simply surviving becomes a constant struggle. Yet humans have still found ways to live in some of them. From frozen settlements above the Arctic Circle to cities surrounded by one of the driest deserts on Earth, these are 10 places where nature seems to have drawn a line and said, humans were never meant to live here. At number 10 is Oymyakon, Russia. Deep in eastern Siberia lies one of the coldest permanently inhabited settlements on Earth. Oymyakon has recorded temperatures below -60 degrees Celsius. At temperatures like these, everyday life becomes completely different. Vehicles can be difficult to start. Exposed skin can freeze rapidly, and the extreme cold affects almost everything people normally take for granted. Yet people still call this frozen landscape home. And if you think that is the worst environment humans have adapted to, the next place goes in the opposite direction. At number 9 is Dalal, Ethiopia. In the Danakil Depression, temperatures can become extraordinarily high, while the landscape is covered with salt formations, acidic pools, and volcanic features. Dalal was once the site of a mining settlement, but it is now abandoned. The combination of extreme heat and harsh geological conditions makes this one of the most inhospitable landscapes on the planet. And beneath the brilliant colors is something even more unsettling. Some of the pools are extremely acidic. At number 8 is La Rinconada, Peru. High in the Andes, at roughly 5,100 meters above sea level, sits one of the world's highest permanent settlements. At this altitude, the air contains dramatically less oxygen than at sea level. For the human body, that means every breath delivers less oxygen. People living here have adapted to an environment where altitude affects almost every part of daily life. The settlement grew around gold mining, drawing people into a place where the mountains themselves make survival harder. But altitude isn't the only way the planet can challenge the human body. At number 7 is the Atacama Desert in Chile. Some areas of the Atacama are so dry that scientists use the landscape as an analog for conditions found on Mars. Rain is extraordinarily rare in parts of the desert, and the terrain can remain almost completely barren. Yet humans have still built settlements here. The city of Antofagasta and other communities exist along the edges of this immense desert, proving that even one of Earth's driest environments cannot completely stop human civilization. But now we're heading somewhere even more extreme. At number 6 is Barrow, Alaska, officially known today as Utqiagvik. Located on Alaska's northern coast, Utqiagvik sits far above the Arctic Circle. For part of the year, the sun remains below the horizon for weeks. Then the opposite happens. During summer, the sun can remain visible around the clock. Temperatures, darkness, sea ice, and isolation all shape daily life here. It is a place where the normal rhythm of day and night disappears, and humans have learned to live with it. At number 5 is the Dead Sea region. The Dead Sea sits at one of the lowest elevations on Earth's land surface. The climate is extremely hot and dry, and the water is so salty that ordinary aquatic life cannot survive in it. Yet communities and tourism have developed around its shores. The landscape seems almost alien. Barren mountains, mineral-rich water, and intense sunlight surrounding a body of water where floating comes unusually easily. But the next location pushes human habitation into an environment that seems almost completely frozen in time. At number 4 is Longyearbyen, Svalbard. This settlement lies deep inside the Arctic Circle, on an island surrounded by glaciers and polar wilderness. For months, the sun disappears below the horizon. And then there is another danger. Polar bears live throughout the Svalbard archipelago, which means the wilderness surrounding the settlement is not simply empty land. Longyearbyen is a functioning community with schools, businesses, and infrastructure. But step beyond the developed areas, and you enter an environment where the rules of survival change quickly. At number 3 is Coober Pedy, Australia. At first glance, it looks like almost nothing should live here. The landscape is dry, hot, and dominated by barren ground. But the people of Coober Pedy discovered an unusual solution to the heat. Many residents live underground. Homes, hotels, shops, and other spaces have been built into the surrounding rock, where temperatures remain far more stable than on the surface. Instead of escaping the desert, people effectively built their lives inside it. And then we reach number 2, McMurdo Station, Antarctica. Unlike most settlements on this list, McMurdo is not a normal city. It is a research station supporting scientific work on the coldest continent on Earth. Antarctica is one of the harshest environments humans have ever attempted to operate in. Temperatures can plunge far below freezing, powerful winds sweep across the continent, and the surrounding landscape is dominated by ice. There are no native, permanent human populations here. Every building, supply, and piece of equipment needed to maintain the station has to be brought in. It is a place where human civilization exists because we deliberately built a small pocket of it in an environment that does not naturally support us. But the number 1 location is different. Because here, humans didn't just survive an extreme environment. They built one of the world's highest cities around it. La Rinconada may already have appeared on this list, but its combination of altitude and permanent habitation makes it especially extraordinary. At around 5,100 meters above sea level, the settlement exists in an environment where oxygen is scarce, temperatures are harsh, and the surrounding mountains dominate everything. Life here is closely tied to gold mining. People have climbed into an environment where the air itself is thinner, the weather is unforgiving, and basic survival requires adapting to conditions most humans would never choose. And that's what makes these places so fascinating. Humans are remarkably adaptable. We build homes beneath deserts, operate research stations on frozen continents, live above the clouds, endure months without normal daylight, and establish communities in landscapes that seem almost completely hostile to life. Maybe humans were never meant to live in these places. But again and again, we've found a way. If you want to explore more of the most extreme places on Earth, like the video, subscribe to World 404, and turn on notifications for the next journey.